Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. I have dropped a link to that at the top of the chat, pinned it, you can't miss it. Discount opportunities will be available there closer to launch. And of course, you can join in discussions, share trade ideas as well. But guys, welcome back to another stream. What is up, Tony Gold? Hope you're doing well. Tom, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Ben, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Antonio, good afternoon. Hope you are doing well. So since yesterday, first off, we did see a bit of movement with the CPI news. Didn't see anything crazy. Didn't see anything crazy. It was a bit of back and forth. I mean, this is Euro USD. I believe the CPI news came out around 130, which would have been around this area here. So all we can see really is a bit of back and forth price action. Wait, no, it was this candle there. So since that dropped there, all the market's done has been back and forth. So a little bit of movement, but nothing crazy. Again, the idea for me is still very much looking for the upside, the longs on euro, pound as well, and we'll get to some other dollar pairs as well. But the idea is still very much there, and nothing's really changed. Looking at the DXY, bit of a move to the upside there as well. And yeah, hasn't really done much since then. Still got a feeling that we can probably still see a bit more USD strength before we do sell off, but we're back at resistance now, which is back at this high here. Potentially that double top could form and we could see price roll back over, but I have spoken about some areas up there, which I was expecting price to get to at the beginning of the week before the continuation. But either which way, I am looking for us to sell off. It's either we sell off from the high here, or we sell off up there. That's very much what I'm anticipating with USD. So that's kind of only what I'm interested in. So looking at euro, looking to take that higher, reacting with my level at the moment, need a little bit more momentum before I do look for any entries. Pound USD, we're at my area as well. Need a little bit more momentum before, again, I do find an entry, but both are testing their areas pretty well. So hopefully you can get some positions maybe this afternoon on the next 4-hour candle, which will close in about 3 hours and 47 minutes. But yeah, we're trading at some really nice areas now. So this is literally what I've been calling for all week. And pound USD is finally there. I like the wick to the downside there as well, and how we pierced through but closed within the level. And Euro's testing it pretty well as well. So all I'm looking for now is just momentum. And I'll find my entry, stop loss below the level. And the idea is to look to see if I can swing these back to the high. Again, not looking to take both of them, just to see which one will give me the better entry. Whether euro or pound, not really too bothered, because yeah, they'll both fail or both win. So I'm not going to try and trade them both. But so far looking good, I have to say. Reverse on indices yesterday was insane. Yes, I did see that actually. The indices did shoot up to the upside pretty aggressively. Look at XPS. Yes, I will take a look at S&P. What's up, Karis? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. So yeah, the indices did push up really aggressively. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. Was not expecting that. I mean, I was looking for a move to the upside on NAS, because NAS came into a really big level, which was the day level here. So I was looking for a push higher for that pair. And I said intraday there might be a sell-off, but wait for the news to happen. And then look for opportunities. And we kind of did see that sell-off, but this was the dump from the news there. And then, of course, prices just completely turn around. So if you weren't careful and you weren't managing that position, you would be floating some nice profit, and then suddenly that profit would have been disappeared. But yeah, really big push to the upside for NAS. It's really impulsive. It's really impulsive. It looks like price is trying to reverse here. Same thing for S&P as well. Same thing for US 30, which we'll get into. In fact, this one had the sell-off before it actually got back to the high there. So yesterday I was talking about a sell from here back to that level, but it just sold off, hit the level, and now it's pushed up again. So I wouldn't look to take this short anymore, but before it would have been a nice position. But yeah, US30 just dropped, and now it's looking pretty bullish again. Now that we've tagged this area, this could send us to the upside here. So I'm wondering, are the indices getting ready to reverse? Possibly. I'm not quite convinced with NAS just yet, but that's one heck of a start, I must say. And S&P, as we come back into the consolidation, we might see a bit of a reaction. So yeah, but really big move there with the indices. They have come back into some big areas as well. So I wonder if they're going to see a bit of downside now. Just squeezed out the short UK 100. Okay, the UK 100 is affected as well. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, that did push up, although back at some nice levels there. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some downside from here for UK 100, 82, 8300 really on the dot. Could see some downside from there. I don't think that's the worst place in the world to be looking to sell. Stop loss above the high could be a nice little position there. Let me see how the DAX is doing. Yeah, that one did see some upside as well, but now it's come back into this area on the higher time frame. Possibly could be seeing price continue back to the high now. So yeah, with the indices, I'm kind of mixed. I think some of them look good for a short, like S&P, but I wouldn't be looking for anything crazy. I feel like if we catch a nice short back to this area here, I feel like that's a really good trade, and I would be looking for some exits. US30, however, I wouldn't really be looking to short anymore. NAS might be coming up to some nice areas here for a short, but again, I would be looking at the short term. Nothing crazy anymore. But yeah, really big moves there from the indices. Bitcoin, not much, but bouncing off that low. And oil, slight reaction there as well. And gold just reacted off the high there, which was what's up, Ren? Welcome to the stream. Came through this. Oh, I was rolling. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it has been a long time since I've spoken with you. Hope you're doing good. Welcome back. Tom Shorter GJ 186.2 on the hour, scaling in, looking for the end, looking for that 183. Okay, we'll discuss pound yen as well. So yeah, with the yen pairs, we did see a bit of strength come into play. I did see a bit of strength. Well, actually, first of all, we did see a weakness. I think since the turn of the day, yen pairs have pushed up a little bit. But so we did see a sell-off, almost getting to your 183 there. Almost getting to your 183, not too far away. As you can see, we did spike to the downside there, and then price took a bit of a turn. But now we're back testing that area, which is the area I was spoken about yesterday. This is a nice level for a short. And of course, you just spoken about looking to scale in for some entry. So yeah, I like it. I think from an hourly point of view, the market's been so consistent with all these lower highs, 1, 2, 3, potentially 4. As long as we maintain this structure, which you expect price to do, there's a very high chance we see that next continuation. At the start of the week, I was looking for that bigger pullback into 189, and for Euro Yen back into 160, Aussie Yen back into 97.3. So I'd be looking for the bigger pullbacks for the yen pairs, but unfortunately, we just haven't seen those big pullbacks happen. But intraday, that does look pretty nice on pound yen. I do like what I'm seeing. And yeah, I'm still looking for 183 as well. I've marked out 189 as well as a place where price could be drawn towards, because I do think we've just seen a continuation of this leg. So massive sell-off, correction, and now we're kind of seeing price slowly spill over again. So I do think we'll eventually head to these areas. It's just how far will price move up before we do get there is very much how I'm looking at the yen pairs for now. So yeah, if we are successful with the retest here, I would expect us to sell off and 183 to be hit pretty soon, maybe at some point this week. Because when the yen pairs get going, they do get going. So I like what I'm seeing with pound yen. I'm liking the opportunity there as well. Yeah, hopefully we can see a continuation there. Yeah, I've been looking at some of these other yen pairs as well. Nothing really there for me just yet. I was looking for the bigger pullback this week. Could still happen, but it hasn't really presented itself yet. Good, fully back now. I'm now profitable. Wicked, good to hear. That's good to see. I'm glad to have you back on the stream. Glad to have you back trading again. But that's good to hear because yeah, you were on the stream for a very, very long time. Very long time. Harry, yes, we'll take a look at NAS as well. Looking to short, having been. You're looking to short pound yen, or are you already shorting pound yen? But either which way, as I just described, I like pound yen as well. I like pound yen to the downside. Intraday, not really a swing because for me to get into a swing, I need to price to actually have a bit of an upside move because from a 4 hour point of view, we had a really big sell. So I need price to come up first. But if we're going to keep up this intraday momentum, intraday, market structure of these low lows and low highs, there's a good chance that price is going to take a sell here. So I like pound yen to the downside. I like most of the yen pairs to the downside, really, but I'm not looking at anything big just yet. I want the yen pairs to have a big move up before I look for the big next big swing, because a lot of them have had a very bearish couple of weeks. You can see for CAD yen, big move down, pound yen, big move down, New Zealand yen, Euro yen, all of them pretty much the same thing. All of them have really stretched move down. So I want, from a 4 hour point of view anyway, them to find some upside back to some of these areas. If I whip out the Fibonacci, from the low to the high, got some confluence around there. So I'm looking for that bigger pullback, next lower high, and then the continuation. So from a higher time frame point of view, that's what I want to see. But of course, if we're going to keep selling off intraday, then we're going to. There's been many times where I've been looking for a bigger pullback and it just hasn't happened yet, and the market just keeps falling, keep melting. This could be the case with the yen pairs here. If they don't hold, of course, we'll keep an eye out for that. But for now, I think pound yen is in a good area for a sell. So I'm liking that a lot. We'll go through NAS for Harry. Okay, you already are shorting. Okay, nice. Yeah, I think it's in a nice place for a short. So hopefully we can see the continuation for pound yen. In terms of NAS, as I mentioned, I believe it's now in a nice place for a short. I was describing some longs here yesterday, but it looks like that boat has definitely sailed. Didn't really come back to retest this area again. I mean, that wick was pretty close, but unless you were just calling the bottom of CPI yesterday, it would be very, very difficult to catch. But now that we've had such a big move to the upside, the market's a little bit stretched. We're coming back into an area where we did consolidate for a few hours before we did have a big sell-off. This was our major lower high, which gave us this move down. So naturally, this is a place where you could be looking to sell. As I said with S&P and as I said with US 30, if you're looking to sell, I would be looking at smaller moves in the market because I am not confident that we're about to see another major swing high and the market's about to drop. I think looking for such a move like that is a bit optimistic. Not that it can't happen, but it's optimistic. If you're looking for a shorter term sell, maybe price comes back into this area, struggles, shows some rejection, something like this could look good. Then maybe price forms a higher low and pushes back up again. Similar to S&P, we might struggle at this low here, push down, and then push back up. So that might be a short-term sell we can take advantage of for a longer-term buy back to the high. So for NAS, I'm looking at something similar there as well. Might see some downside, but the bigger move still may be to the upside. We are respecting this daily level here of prior resistance turn support, and this could be the catalyst for a big swing to the upside. But of course, from a more intraday point of view, that's kind of what I'll be looking at. I mean, I won't be looking to sell it just yet, but it's coming to an areas where it does make sense to sell. If you're not already in the buys, of course, you want price to pull back and find some support. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for NAS as we approach these lower highs on the left. Could be trying to catch the next one. How far with prop firm? Very close, very close with the prop firm. To be fair, we're looking to launch very soon. So everyone keep a close eye on Elevating Traders YouTube channel, because there will be a lot of content about how the prop firm works, about the rules, what we're looking for as a prop firm and the mission of the prop firm as well. So do make sure you go check out that YouTube channel. In fact, I'm actually streaming from there at the moment right now. I'm streaming on both YouTube channels, but yeah, Elevating Traders is very, very close to being opened up to the public. So yeah, very, very close, very, very excited to release that as well. Just some final touches, putting the cherry on top, and you'll be seeing Elevating Traders very soon. We'll take a look at Euro Aussie and Pound Aussie as well, Captain, no problem. If I have missed out a pair, let me know. I don't think I have, but I do have a tendency to do that. So let me know if I do miss out a pair. But in terms of Euro Aussie and Pound Aussie, Euro Aussie, I have talked about some shorts, which I mentioned yesterday. Of course, we've got the risk reward tool up here. Doesn't look like prices quite reach that area. Still can, but effectively, this is where I want to go short right up the high. The way I'm looking at Euro Aussie really is that it's just a big ranging market. So yeah, now that we're back at the higher end of that range, I'm kind of looking at this as a bit of a fake out. Same with this as well, bit of a fake out there too. So now that we're back at the higher end of the range, naturally we're expecting a move lower. But yeah, in terms of location to short, I would want to be closer to that high, which is that zone there, before I do find any entries. Right now, prices not really in the area which I want to enter from, or do anything really. I mean, buys are not too bad as we approach this low here. It's kind of like a big inverse head and shoulder pattern. Actually, let me just grab up the tool. So there's your left, there's your head, and of course there's your right shoulder. I'm not really buying it because I like my head and shoulder patterns to be at the top of trends, or an inverse head and shoulders be at the bottom of a trend. This is not really a condition of a trending market, so head and shoulder patterns are not as effective in these conditions, so I wouldn't really buy into that. But if you're looking for a range play, looking to short up high, as we come back into this area, 1.67, I feel like it's a nice place for a nice swing, which could be looking at a swing back to the low end of the range as well. So there is a lot of pips to catch should you look for it. But yeah, with Euro Aussie, I like the range. It's nice and big. There's a lot of pips to catch. You don't necessarily have to look for the lower end of the range. You can look for the median point and still walk away with a decent risk to reward. But yeah, I would be looking for this to come a little bit higher before expecting to see some downside. And with Pound Aussie is a little bit more intricate, because we're rebounding on this high here. And if we do successfully use this as support, I do think Pound Aussie's got a lot of room to the upside. We've got the high here at 1.99. Price is struggling to break back underneath this. If we're going to find support here, I would expect us to push higher. The only thing I don't like about Pound Aussie, I must say, is how the candlesticks are forming. We did kind of break below and then we're breaking back above. So I don't really like it when price does that. I like it when price creates support and we kind of just sit on the level. So we come into the level, sit on it and reject it. That's how I like it. And if you want to leave a big wick to the downside below it, that's great as well. But I don't like it if we're going to close below and close back above, because it doesn't really mean much. It looks like we're breaking through it. Now we're breaking back above it. I need to see a retest of that specific level to show me that that area is holding. So I don't really like how the candles are closing. So I think a big sign to see if this level will hold or not will be how we close by the end of the day. At the moment, well, for yesterday anyway, big, strong bearish engulfing candle closing into that level. And today so far, we're just kind of resting on top of the level right now. If this daily candle can remain above that area by the end of the day, then to me that shows that we're holding that level. And then for Friday, I'll be expecting to see some continuations higher. So there could be some nice buying opportunities tomorrow, or at least you'll get more information whether the level is holding by tomorrow. Because we could easily see another candle closing back below, and it just becomes very, very messy. So yeah, by the end of the day, it will be a clearer sign whether this 1.95 area is doing its job or is breaking through. But essentially, in terms of the trade opportunity, we're looking for the retest for some upside. This is a range here, the breakout of the range. This is the retest. We're looking for price to get back to the high, which is around 1.97. And then eventually, we'll be looking at 1.99, which is the high up there. So yeah, I would be bullish on pound Aussie. It's a weird one because Euro Aussie, I'm kind of looking for a big swing to the downside, and I am to a certain extent looking for the same move on pound Aussie as well, but I want it to come a lot higher before the move down. So for both of them, I'm kind of looking for a big move up and a big move down. It's just that Euro Aussie is not that far away from it, so there's a little bit kind of they're not quite in sync as much as I want them to be because they're very, very similar pairs. But yeah, for both of them, looking for a push up and then a bigger sell. Pound Aussie, there could be some nice buys in the meantime as we approach this level here. And then maybe we can discuss some sells from 1.99 closer to the level as price approaches it. But yeah, for now, I would expect to see some upside. And in terms of pound entity, with this one, yeah, it's been quite awkward. It's been quite awkward, to be honest, because I was looking for a sell for pound entity at the start of the week. I said if we could hold on to this area here, this would be a nice place to short from, and hopefully we can see price hold that and push back down. Haven't really seen that happen. It looks like price is breaking above it to an extent, although the wicks are not very promising. It would be nice if we had a solid candle closure above that area rather than kind of leaving all those wicks. But from a 4-hour point of view, it does look like we've broken through and price is now kind of using this as support. So I wouldn't be surprised if pound entity has that continuation to the upside as well. And that does play into the idea of pound Aussie longs as well. So pound entity and pound Aussie are lining up for some buys. That's a good sign because correlated pairs lining up in the same direction. Good chance both of them will make the move. So yeah, if pound entity can sustain that level at 2.12, there could be a push back to this high, which is around 2.15, and we could be seeing pound Aussie do something similar back to 1.99 as well. So the buys are setting up quite nicely with pound Aussie and pound entity. I probably would say pound Aussie might be the better one because it's a little bit cleaner path back higher up, but they're very, very similar pairs, and looks like we're just about holding that as support right now. So to me, pound entity looks like it's got some room to the upside, and yeah, pound Aussie as well. And pound entity is sort of like a inverse head and shoulder there as well, which I've just noticed. Not the cleanest one, but yeah, I'll be expecting to move higher. Let me know your bias, what you're looking to do with pound entity as well, and pound Aussie and Euro Aussie. What's up, John? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning. Good morning. What's my thoughts on Euro Pound? So yeah, Euro Pound, I'm looking for a lot more downside with this one. I do like how this one is forming on the higher time frames, at least. In the 4 hours, been quite choppy. It's quite difficult to find some entries. But I do like Euro Pound to the downside longer term. And I've spoken a lot about this one, especially on the monthly time frame, because if you look at how August closed, massive wick to the upside, pulled all the way back down and closed bearish. So I do think that candle there is a big sign that, okay, that this bearish move is likely to continue into September. And there is massive support below us down here, which I would expect price to come back and retest. So I do still see Euro Pound falling back to this area here, which is around the 0.83835 area. So in my book, there is more downside to be had It looks like this level here of price support is now just holding as resistance pretty well there as well. So in terms of finding some opportunities to trade this, what I'm looking at for euro pound is a short from this area and a continuation lower, because we had a wonderful move down. And to me, this just looks like a correction. And now possibly price is getting ready to continue. If we were to correct a little bit higher up, I have marked out around 0.85 as also a place which I'll be interested in shorting from. It's a pretty key level in the market. Support there as well. Third time was resistance there too. That could end up being a really nice place for a short if we were to have a bigger pullback. But these are the two areas where I do see euro pound falling from. It's just about finding a good entry. We had a nice wick to the upside yesterday after CPI. And since then, the candles have been a little bit corrective. Yeah, they're lacking kind of momentum there, especially in the full hour. So if I can see a solid close, that could be a nice entry, but it really depends on how these next few candlesticks move. One thing I do like is definitely that wick, and that definitely is something that is enticing me to euro pound, but it does depend on how we do close, whether I'll find the entry or not. But the idea is to look for the lower high for pushback down. And if it doesn't happen here, then if we do see some more upside, I'll be looking at this level for the short. So that is the plan I have with euro pound. If I just mark it out with the risk reward tool, so something like that, so also above the area, short back into the low, or if it's to retrace a little bit higher up, looking for the same move back into the low there. Either way, risk reward looks really good, and higher time frames line up as well, which is the most important thing. You can get some good higher time frame confluence. That's always great for the trade. It's extra wind in your sails, because if the higher time frames are going to continue, we could see this one really tank, especially with a trail stop loss. This could end up falling a lot further back to 0.83, which is where I've drawn the monthly level at. So that's kind of what I'm envisioning for euro pound. Let me know what you're looking to do with this one as well. If you're looking to buy, then I would wait for us to at least get back to support down here around 0.838. Yeah, I was saying the buys here could look good. We just missed out on that low, but now we've correctly moved up. Now's not the time to buy. If you're looking to buy, you want to see price push down, come back to fresh support again, and then you can look for your entries down there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for euro pound. In terms of my watch list going into the rest of the week, it's very much focused on euro and pound, because these are pairs I've been talking about for quite a long time. And I still like the longs, and finally today they have hit the level, or yesterday they've hit the level I'm looking to buy from. So if I can see some solid closes on the full hour, Euro USD, Pound USD, I'll be debating between the two, which pair I'll look to long, but I like them both. I think Euro's got a bit more to offer, so I'm leaning towards this one. But then again, I really like that wick there in Pound, so we'll see. But both of them look really good. I was debating Aussie dollar yesterday on this candle here. It closed at the same time as the daily, so spreads were a little bit different. But because Pound USD and Euro were both at the area, I decided to hold out for these two. So I'm waiting to see if I can get an entry today on them. And yeah, I was keeping an eye on gold and silver, but still very much within their ranges. So been very, very boring to watch. Antonio, UNSD being stubborn. My thoughts. Let me go take a look. So yeah, UNSD, I was looking to sell this week, and I still am looking to sell this week as well. But yeah, I think stubborn is the correct word. It is being really stubborn. I'm looking to sell around the 1.805 level. This is where I'm looking to enter my trades, because the idea is that we've had a lovely move down. We're coming back to retest this high, looking for some rejection, and hopefully the continuation back into the lower end of things. Massive support there. That's where you see UNSD ending up at. But yeah, we found some resistance, and then looked at one point that price was just going to sell off from here. But we're finding support. struggling to break through. So maybe we do see one more push to the upside, which I will be very grateful for. And then hopefully I can find some sales later on, because I'm very bearish on your entity. I just need to wait for price to actually get to my level first, and then I can find some entries. But yeah, it has been pretty stubborn because we've been at the same price since the start of the week, Monday the 9th of September. We haven't moved anywhere. So hopefully one more push up, and then we can discuss some sales from 1.89, hopefully back down to 1.74. But we'll see if I can manage that manage that swing, because yeah, it's about a 600 pip move, which is no small move at all. Okay, bullish on pound USD, Christine. Nice, I'm bullish as well. You looking to find some entries on pound USD, or you ready in the trade? Holy One's still if in the buyers in euro. I'll leave this one plus nowhere near my 50 break, so I'll wait till next week. Okay, fair enough. Well, that's what you have the rules for. That's what you have your rules for. Let me get the 50 up, see where that is. Oh, not 959. Okay, yeah, that is very, very true. Definitely nowhere near the 50 as well. So yeah, you're looking for price to break above the 50 before you do find the entry. And yeah, we're definitely nowhere near doing that. Of course, looking for price to be above the 50 does filter out some of those trades, and some of those trades that would just remain below the 50 and continue falling. And yeah, that's a good filter. I mean, for me, I always look to enter from support. So as long as I'm seeing good rejection from that area, I'm more than happy to enter. But yeah, if it's not fitting your plan, not fitting your rules, then of course there's nothing for you to do. And if you want price to retrace further anyway, you're expecting price to come further before you do find the buy, of course, you want to hold out anyway. To be fair, I can see that move happening if euro does want to have a bigger pullback. I have marked out some areas which some buys look good to me. Definitely this high here, should we pull back there, looks good. This high there as well. And of course, this level of marked out. So I've got about 3 areas which I'm looking to buy Euro USD from. If this area doesn't hold, I'm looking at this area, and I'm looking at this area. But the idea for me with Euro is that we've been forming these higher lows. So the expectation is that we're going to form another one at some point, and of course, continue our path to the upside. So my plan is to look to see how I can catch that next higher low and be a part of that swing. And I marked out a few areas where that could potentially happen. Now I just need to study the price action when we get there to see if things are looking good and if I can find an entry. But for now, we're having a nice reaction. I think the key takeaway is that we're holding this area so far. I need to see price, give me a strong close, and then I'll find my entry off the back of that. Stop loss underneath the level. Stop loss underneath the level, and then a continuation back to the high. And then these are the plan for the trade. Not sure, to be honest. Price is really high. Okay, yeah, if you're looking for a deeper correction, it makes a lot of sense as well. I wouldn't mind a push back to 1.09129 either. But yeah, it just depends on the price action, because if price does want to come back down, I'll be expecting to see price eventually break through that level. And if I don't get my price action, I'll be waiting for the next one. But yeah, so far it has kind of moved not that great. So haven't entered yet, but I definitely am keeping a close eye on it. But we've had a pretty big move. We're almost at the 50 of this fib, so I like that as well. In fact, if you can poke down a little bit, tag the 50, and then give me a solid close, that would be nice. But yeah, I have to see how Euro gets on. But yeah, if you don't like it because it's too high, it makes sense as well. It makes sense as well. You could probably say that a lot about pound USD. That's had a pretty big move. In fact, pound USD breaking through the high there as well makes it a little bit more awkward. At least euro, we've got some, some levels to work with, which we haven't tested yet. Pound, we've actually broken through some key highs as well. So that one does have some great height to it, and looking for a bigger pullback, it does make some sense as well. But if I don't see price hold, then I'll expect the bigger pullback to happen. Same thing for euro. Holy One of Israel, would you buy gold then? Because of course gold is definitely one that's gone very high up, hence why the all-time highs. So if, would you be looking for opportunities to buy gold, or would you be looking for a bigger pullback with gold first? Because yeah, gold has been very bullish. Of course, we're very, very high up with gold. I think with gold, it's a bit different to like your normal FX pair, because gold can just keep going and it has that trend capabilities to it, whereas FX is a bit more kind of up and down, up and down. So you can probably get away with more buys higher up with gold than you would do with like Euro USD, for example. But then again, it comes down to your plan, your edge, and your experience in the market. And if you like buying when the market's had a bigger correction, a bigger retracement, then of course you're going to wait for those opportunities. But for me with gold, I can be a bit more aggressive because I know that gold just has that tendency to really rip and really continue in the trend without the bigger pullbacks. So if I do see a big break and retest of the high here, even though it's at all-time highs, I would be looking for the buy. If this was like a Euro USD or like a pound JPY, I probably wouldn't take the trade because it's at all-time highs. Because it's gold, I know we have that capability to really fly. I'm happy to take the long. Same thing with silver as well. In fact, silver's nowhere near the all-time high, so silver's had a pretty deep correction anyway. So silver's is a nice one to keep tabs on, because the all-time high of silver is all the way up there. So we're nowhere near it. And even with the past swing we've had, we've had a big pullback from that as well. So yeah, silver has a lot of upside, which I like silver, because if you do catch a nice buy on it, it has that room to run. But yeah, looking to see if we can break this zone here. I think if silver does break this zone, especially impulsively, we probably will see gold break the high. And I think gold is slowly gearing up for that as well. But yeah, it's been so interesting with gold because we respected the high there 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times we've come up into that high, and 7 times the market has rejected it. At this point, it comes there an 8th time. You're just looking to sell it there without any confirmation because you're expecting the level to hold. Again, not really my type of trade. But if you're looking for a quick scalp on gold, I do think just looking to short high at that zone makes a load of sense. Not necessarily looking for the full swing back to the lower end of the range, but at least the reaction, for 2-3 hours, that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm still waiting for the breakout, so yeah, hopefully we can see that soon. I don't think we've got any major US news anymore this week after CPI. I think we got PPI in the afternoon. Let me double check before I'm telling porkies. Okay, so we got ECB interest rate at 115. So that's a major news event, not USD, but one to keep an eye out from. Oh wow, it's expected to drop pretty hard. The previous interest rate, the current interest rate for euro is 4.25%, but it's expected to drop to 3.65%. That's a pretty big drop. I'm pretty sure that number last week just said 4%. So yeah, that's a pretty big drop. Maybe euro could really tank this afternoon. So yeah, keep an eye on that if you are looking to trade euro, which is what I'm looking to do. But I don't think I won't find an entry before that anyway. So the news will come out before I find an entry. In terms of USD, we do have PPI in the afternoon at 1:30 UK time. in about 2 hours and 40 minutes from now. So that can move the market. We do have jobless claims as well at the same time too. So keep an eye out for that. And in terms of tomorrow, Michigan consumer sentiment at 3 o'clock USD. Yeah, but nothing other than that. And next week, nothing crazy for USD either, but we do have Bank of England interest rate there. So yeah, with this afternoon, a bit of news for USD, but again, not expecting anything too crazy. The market probably will move back and forth, but CPI for me was the main event this week. So now that that's gone, we'll see what happens with Euro this afternoon, but that's a pretty big drop in interest rate there. I was not expecting that. Of course, that's the consensus, it's not the actual. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Euro does. Of course, with me looking to buy Euro, I'll be waiting to enter on the 4-hour candlestick anyway. So the next 4-hour candlestick will close at 2 p.m. So the news would have been said and done by then. So I'm not really too concerned about that. If the news is going to make Euro very bearish and we're just going to sell off a cliff, then I just won't get my trade. If it makes price very bullish, then I probably will get my trade. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Ben. Okay, looking to short UK 100 again. Yeah, I think it's at a decent level for a short. Scam pump from yesterday. That's one way of calling it. Yeah, I think it's at a decent level for a short. I mentioned that when I was having a brief look at UK 100. I think it's at a nice area for a short because this is for me kind of a major high which we had on the left there. Again, it's quite choppy, but essentially I'm looking at these being some fake outs of that high, and price just coming back into that same area. And if we do respect it, I feel like we should continue the range that we had back over here, which is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we could probably see that happen again over there as well. So now that we're holding this 8,300, I feel like having another stab at it makes a lot of sense. A stop loss above the high and, targets down here. Yeah, I like the opportunity a lot now that we've seen that move higher. I know the indices have been pretty bullish, so it's kind of a little bit, scary to be short in the indices right now because indices just had a big boost from CPI. So yeah, but I do feel like we probably will see a move down, at least for UK 100 as well. I think NAS and S&P will see a bit of downside, but I think UK 100 would be the better one to pick. Tashi, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll wait for the news this afternoon to see if there's a setup. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, PPI could cause a bit of movement there for indices. The only thing about waiting for the news is that sometimes the news is a catalyst for the market. So sometimes waiting for the news to happen means that you miss the trade because now it's already moved, close to your target and far away from where you wanted to enter. So the risk reward is now skewed. So sometimes waiting for the news can definitely miss positions, but then sometimes waiting for the news can definitely avoid taking some unnecessary losses as well. So there's pros and cons to waiting for the news. Definitely from a risk perspective, there's a lot of pros there, of course. But like for example, yesterday, if you wait for the news before looking to short, I think this here was the news yesterday. So if it drops like the 15-minute. So I think this was the news. Yeah, 130, pushed the downside, and then it pushed back up again, and then you can find some entries to short. So yesterday, waiting for the news made a lot of sense in hindsight, of course. Sometimes waiting for the news, prices absolutely drops and doesn't give you that entry. Um, but yeah, you would never know until after, of course. But yeah, I'll be waiting for the news anyway for the Euro one, because I'll be looking to enter on the 4 hour, especially with a drop like that in interest rate. That could definitely tank us to the downside as well. So I think waiting for the 4 hour candle closure is definitely helping me out there. Which pairs am I interested in? Okay, I'll go through my watch list quickly. Um, yeah, true. Yeah, the Nas and the S&P look very bullish, so shorting them can look very scary. I do think there's a bit of downside to be had with them, but I would wait for a lot of development before shorting. Even the hourly chart, we're seeing some price slowing down, but it doesn't look like it's about to turn just yet. So I'll definitely wait for some build up there. But yeah, they have been very bullish, and US 30 as well. What's up, Nak? Welcome to the stream. Okay, we'll go through gold quickly for you. Ben, yeah, exactly. Moves the market a lot. Can be difficult to trade. Can just cause a nice spike sometimes to get in on before the move happens. Yeah. So if you can be in that scenario where you do see a nice spike and then you can find a trade, then of course you can maybe find a trade to take advantage of. But then sometimes the news will come out and it will just move the market a ton, and you won't really find an entry. Or if you do find an entry, where you would have your stop loss, the risk reward wouldn't make sense on the trade. So that's one of the biggest lessons in trading, really, is that with everything you do, there's always a pro and there's always a con, and you just have to make sure that you're aware of the pros, aware of the cons, especially the cons, because sometimes you can be blind to them. And then if it makes sense, then go for it. A lot of people ask me, should I trade the news? Should I not trade the news? I think the best answer to that is weigh up the cons of trading the news, which is slippage, widen spread. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the cons of trading news, really. Yeah, slippage and the spread widens. So yeah, that's the main con of trading news. Of course, in terms of slippage, you could be slipped an extra 1%, you could be slipped an extra 5%. So that's something you do have to contend with. And if you're okay with that possibility, then of course go for it. But if you're not okay with that and you don't like that extra risk being involved, then of course do not trade the news. There's no necessary right answer apart from making sure your risk is managed. In terms of the pairs I'm interested in, so I'll quickly go through that and I'll go take a look at gold as well. In terms of what I'm interested in, I do like Euro Yen and Aussie Yen. I spoke about this at the beginning of the week, but I need to see bigger pullbacks with them. So it's pairs I'm still very much interested in, but unless we do something like this for the retest, I will not find an entry, unfortunately. In terms of USD pairs, so Euro USD longs I'm looking at, Pound USD longs I'm looking at as well. Both have come back into some nice areas. Pound I'm looking like this. Euro I'm looking like this as well. I've got a couple levels slightly lower down, which I'm looking to buy from as well, should this fail. So if the euro interest rate makes euro very weak, you might just completely capitulate to the downside, and then this will open up that level there for me, which I'll then look for some buys and down there too as well. I was looking at Aussie dollar, but I'm going to be focusing more on euro and pound because I like that better. I like gold as well, but I need it to break the high for the retest. That's what I'm looking to buy. I'm also looking at the buy down here, but at the moment, price is nowhere near it. So this is kind of where my focus lies. Breaking test the range and expecting a lot more upside. In terms of CAD pairs, not really looking at. In terms of these crosses, I like Euro NZD for a short at this high there. I usually need to see price push up a little bit higher and then hopefully I can find my entry. But the idea is that I'm looking for a massive swing back to this low here because massive high there, nice move down, bit of a fake out, back a retest, big move down. So that's what I'm eyeing up for Euro NZD. Euro pound, keep an eye out on this one for some entries to short of this high. If not, 0.85 up there looks good too. Looking for a swing back to the low. And then pound CHF, I'm looking at for some shorts, but it's not holding at all. And looks like it's breaking back inside the range. So pound CHF, I think I'll just put it to one side. I'm not really interested in these CHF pairs at the moment. So yeah, that's really the pairs I'm looking at. But at the top of the list, though, it's Euro USD longs and pound USD longs. But we'll wait for the news to come out and then see how things are looking for entries. But I have to say though, I'm liking the 4-hour candlesticks for entries. I wasn't too sure if I was going to like it or not because it's a little bit slower. Stop losses are a little bit bigger. My targets will be a little bit bigger. The process is a little bit slower, but I have to say so far I'm liking it. Okay, where were we? John. Okay, I will take a look at gold and NAC. Dollar CHF, I will take a look as well, John. No problem. BAM rules around news elevating traders. So yeah, we can trade through news elevating traders. We of course welcome that because we're looking for swing traders, looking for day traders, scalpers as well. But we don't want people to exclusively try and trade the news. So we do have a 3-minute window, which we're not letting people enter and try and take advantage of NFP, for example. If NFP is about a drop, and then a lot of people just whacking on a big lot size to try and achieve a quick payout. We're looking for longevity in the market, so we're not looking for people to try and trade the news exclusively. But if you enter a trade before that window essentially and hold through the news, then that's allowed as well. But yeah, we don't want people just to look to trade the news because in terms of slippage, in terms of things go wrong, it's not really good for the firm or for the trader either. What's up, Anis? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Okay, let me go through gold. Okay, so with gold, I'm looking for the buy and the break and retest. So for me, the analysis has been pretty much the same for the past 2 weeks now running for gold. Very much just looking for the break and retest of the high. There's nothing really to report on in terms of price action in here. I know some of you guys are looking to trade gold intraday and want me to comment with the price action in here. It's very, very difficult to see what gold is doing apart from just respecting the high, respecting the low, and just ranging in between. So in terms of finding entries inside of there, I'm just going to kind of ignore and I'm just waiting for price to commit to the upside. And once it does, then I'll look for the retest and then buy. So very, very straightforward opportunity. Very straightforward opportunity, but yeah, I need price to break outside of that range because there's nothing for me to do inside of that range apart from wait. And if it does break to the downside, then I'm looking at this opportunity as well. But of course, we're not close to that right now. So if we just kind of break up, then of course I'll just be focusing on that opportunity. If we were to break down, then I'll consider the 2450 buys as well. But for now, I'm just going to be talking about that break and retest there. But yeah, looking for buys for gold, still very bullish. High time frames look bullish as well. A lot of wind in the sails, and I'm looking for a push to 2600 up there as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for gold. Can news trigger your TP is allowed? Yeah, if you do hit take profit during the news, that's fine as well, because of course the news could accelerate price to take profit. But if you do enter the trade, before the window and you look to exclusively trade outside of it, that is fine. But then, if we see traders looking to enter 1 minute before the window starts, and then that's also another gray area. But essentially, you just want to be seeing consistency. So if you're consistently looking to trade the news, of course that will be flagged. But if you're trading before and you're just trading your analysis, which can be spotted, easy to tell, and you'll take profits hit during the news, that's fine as well. Because of course, with the added momentum, added volatility, you could see price accelerate and hit your take profit. Of course, hit your stop loss as well. But yeah, we're looking for consistency on the trader's end. Simbanello Aussie dollar might blow up, but I'm not looking to trade it next week because right now Aussie and USD both strong. Yeah, Aussie is a bit strong, you're right, and USD is a little bit strong as well. Yeah, it was strong yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for longs in Aussie dollar, to be honest, but I'm preferring euro and pound at the moment, so I'm more focused on those. But I'm looking for Aussie dollar to push up as well. The thing about currency strength is that it can change very, very quickly. One currency could be very, very strong right now, then it changes, and then it's weak or weaker. So yeah, you're definitely right that Aussie is currently strong, but that could change. Same with USD as well, especially if news coming out this afternoon. But if you're going to wait till next week and things are not looking good, then of course, follow your plan, follow your idea. I like Aussie dollar to the upside at the moment, but I'll be finding entries on euro and pound for now. Funding pips, being in trade 5 hours. Yeah, I've seen that rule as well. Again, it's the idea that you're actually trading a plan, and you're not just looking to try and take advantage of the news, really, because yeah, there's no longevity in that, really. And that's kind of the same thinking with elevating traders as well. We've got that window, but if you're trading and then you hold through the news hits, you take profit. If you look past through your previous trading patterns, and if you're generally trading, everyone can see that. Dark Sean, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Any good stuff today? Yeah, I say euro and pounds looking pretty fresh, but need some entries to get involved. I'm liking how everything is set up so far, but I do need to see that entry. And I quite like it because we've got some big news coming out in the afternoon, especially for euro. So it means that I'm not going to get into the trade now when the market's kind of a bit flat and it looks like it's kind of waiting for the news to get going. So I'm going to wait to see what the news does. Does it just give us a big wick and then price pushes up again, or does it push up and come back down, or does it just break through? I'll find that out when the news happens, and then I'll see how the 4-hour candle closes and things look good. I'll find the entry stop loss below the level, and then I'll try and swing it back to the high. So that's very much what I'm looking at right now for euro, and pounds equally. Equally as such, I'm looking for the same opportunity really. But again, waiting for a strong 4-hour close before I do find that entry. So 2 p.m. UK time is what I'm waiting for. So 2 hours and 51 minutes until that candle does close, and then I'll see what I'm working with in terms of entries. Pound's strongest currency today, up against everything. Just start looking at currency strength charts. They're kind of interesting. Yes, I mean, I've been. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. I've had times where currency strength is pretty useful, and have times where currency strength is pretty not useful. I feel like in general, you can tell the currency strength just by looking at the charts. I look at a wide range of pairs, so I pretty much know which currencies are strong, which currencies are weak, just by looking at the market, really. But the funny thing with currency strength is that things can change very quickly, because currency strength gives you exactly what price is doing right now. CHF is weak, USD is strong, AUD is strong, pound is strong. It tells you what is happening right now, which is good if you're an intraday trader or a scalper, because you're taking advantage of what's happening right now. If Swiss is weak, you're looking to trade something against the Swiss to the upside. But as a swing trader, I'm going to go through a process of many days where things will be strong, things will be weak, it will gain strength again, more strength than weak. So I don't really see too much use to it for my trading style. Maybe in terms of entries, it could be beneficial, but in terms of a swing, it's difficult to tell because I'm looking for things to turn around really. Because euro hasn't been particularly weak, hasn't been particularly strong at the moment, but I'm looking for it to gain strength. If this trade's going to play out, euro has to gain some degree of strength, and USD has to lose that strength as well. So in terms of the moment, it can be handy. If in the low time frames, it can definitely be handy. But for a swing, I don't really see too much use in it really. So I don't really tend to look at it. I mean, like I said, I can gauge by looking at the charts anyway which currency is strong or weak. But it doesn't really do much for me in terms of helping me find a trade. So yeah, I haven't really been a big fan of this. When I was intraday trading, it was beneficial, certainly with the entries. But yeah, swing, I don't really see too much use. Dollar CHF, I forgot to take a look at that, didn't I? I will go take a look at dollar CHF. Supposed to look at that a while ago. Because CHF is weakest. Yes, CHF is definitely very, very weak. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. In terms of making better trading decisions, I think the only way it could benefit is if someone could develop a tool that says, okay, for the next week, we're expecting pound to be weak or weaker, and there's a 60% chance of that's happening. That could be factoring to a trading decision. Something like that could do that. And of course, you can use fundamentals to do that, really. So maybe that tool already does exist. But if you can have a currency strength meter that says 60% chance pound's going to be weak next week, then you can use that to your decision because you're okay. If I'm looking to sell, that's another confidence on top of that. But in terms of right now, yeah, like you said, it doesn't really make a better trading decision. Just gives you a bit more information about what's happening at the moment. Yeah, exactly. Without having to flick through charts. That's true. Dark showing EG daily close bullish engulfing, but that wick on the top makes me nervous. Okay, I'll take a look at Euro pound as well. Favor, what's up? Dollar CAD. Okay, we'll take a look. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out the stream. Helps the channel, of course. I do appreciate everyone who does show some love, leaves a like, subscribe. And of course, whilst you're at it, hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, just making sure you guys are dropping some likes. Appreciate everyone who has done so far. But yeah, in terms of dollar CHF, which I was meant to take a look at a while ago, but we'll get into it now. So yeah, dollar CHF is pushing up pretty hard. And again, a nice reaction off that low, nice double bottom there with that piercing wick. So with dollar CHF, I am looking for some upside and I am looking for a move back down. I've marked out a couple of areas where that could happen. So I marked out this low here and I marked out this low there as well. We could come up into either one before pushing to the downside, something like this, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. Major low there, retest, sell off, or a major low there, retest, sell off. So I think that's what the next swing could be looking like for the dollar CHF. I've got a feeling that this is probably the one that's going to make it happen because for me, this is a little bit too low down. The market's just coming off a big level. This could be a nice place for a reaction, but I kind of would expect us to push up a little bit higher before we do see the bigger sell-off. But nonetheless, it's a nice place for a short, at least on the shorter term, on the shorter side of things. At the moment, we are pushing pretty hard, and we've just about taken out this high there as well. So things are pretty bullish for dollar CHF. So yeah, let me know what you're looking at. I think John, you asked about dollar CHF, didn't you? Trying to find your comment. Okay, so yeah, let me know what you're looking at to do with dollar CHF. I feel like if you're looking for shorts, 0.858 and 876 are great for swings. If you're looking at some buying opportunities intraday, I like the retest of the high there. Should we get a pullback, next higher low, push back up again. We've got one low there, second higher low. Could be looking at the third one before we do expect price to continue. So that to me looks like a nice opportunity there. And then push back into that daily level. And then we can go from there, whether the price wants to break through or pull back. We can decide when we do approach that level. But for now, yeah, I'll be expecting a bit more upside for dollar CHF. Certainly after coming and rebounding off that low there. That is a big level in the market. Okay, so let me go through euro pound, and I'll take a look at dollar CAD for favor. Strength can even help for swing because you can scan the market using 15 weeks. Okay, so you're looking for a strength meet in terms of like a monthly perspective as well. But again, even from that perspective as well, I mean, it can help because it can speed up things without looking for markets, like Ben said. Without looking through charts and trying to gauge it yourself, you can see, okay, pound is strong, yen is weak, and you can look at it from a perspective of like a monthly point of view. So that can make sense as well. But I don't know, me, as I look for the markets, I can gauge that. And since I kind of look through all the markets anyway every week, I kind of already know which markets are strong and which are weak, even from a monthly perspective, by simply going through the monthly timeframes as well. So yeah, I feel like it helps in terms of speeds up your job because you don't have to look for every market and to gauge which is strong or short, and it gives you a systematic answer as well. Because some people, maybe your eyes can deceive you. You think you're strong, but it actually wasn't. So at least the strength meter will give you in black and white. So yeah, again, if you find use in it, use it. Use it to how you find use. For me, I feel like I do its job anyway, so I don't really use it. But if it's useful, of course, don't let me deter you away from it. So yeah, euro pound. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I'm particularly bearish, darkish on euro pound. I'm looking for euro pound to push lower back to this low here. And yeah, it did leave a big wick on the daily and the 4 hour as well. So I do feel like that wick is probably going to send us back down. Excuse me. You can see we had a really lovely drop there to the downside in price. Has since been moving really correctively back up again. So it's not like we've seen really strong momentum creeping into the market from a bullish side of things. We've just been slowly chugging away to the upside. So this is not really sustainable bullish price action, or price action that resembles a reversal. This is resembling a potential pullback for price to continue in its bearish journey. So now that we have left that piercing wick to the upside, for me, it looks like price is finding its top, and we could be looking to sell off. If not, maybe do see a bit more upside, but I would expect it to eventually sell off from 0.85 and then continue back down to the low. If you're looking to buy euro pound, I would recommend looking at the low here, since this is where we find support and where we had a massive move up higher. I feel like that would be a sensible place for a buy. Anything in here is not looking really prime in terms of the buys. Yeah, I would avoid looking to buy there. If you're looking to buy, I feel like you have a bit more luck down here, since this is where we had a big move from. But for me, this is more bearish territory, and I do feel like we can continue lower. And I know the daily did close as somewhat as a bullish golden candle, but even that, there's certain bullish golden candles that look better than others, and that just doesn't look like a great one. This looks a lot better. Even that looks a lot better there. That looks a lot better there of how things are setting up. Of course, I'm using a bit of hindsight here, but in terms of looking at how things set up, even that one there too, it looks a lot better than this one. UJ, okay, I'll go through UJ. Let me go through dollar CAD first. So yeah, with dollar CAD, we had a nice reaction yesterday off that low. Nice reaction there of that bearish engulfing, another wick. I think that was from CPI, was it? Was it? No, that was 3 o'clock. Okay, CPI was here. I think we had some news at 3 o'clock though. So yeah, with USD CAD, as I said, this is a big level here, and I do expect price to reject it and push lower. So if we can maintain that, I do think there's a good chance that dollar CAD can end up back at the low here. Again, my long-term bias for dollar CAD has been set for a while now. We've had this massive range on the weekly chart. We've got the high around here. We've got the low down there. And of course, it's kind of like a middle level here. Not as, of course, as critical as this low or that high, but definitely an area which the market has shown respect to and bounced from quite a lot. So now that we had this lovely rejection up high, I do think longer term, dollar CAD is making a move back to the low here. So that's where I do see USD CAD ending up in the next few weeks, or maybe even longer, depends how long it takes us to get there. And even from a monthly chart as well, we had a lovely bearish engulfing last month. So I do feel like we can just see price, eventually spill over to the downside. So for dollar CAD, higher time frames look good, and if we're going to continue, this is a nice level for support, which is now we turn resistance. So if you can hold into that, looking for a push into the low, and then maybe eventually the low there at 1.325. So yeah, dollar CAD, I like it to the downside from a top-down perspective. I've got multiple reasons why I'm expecting it to go lower, and now they fall back into this area here too. I like it to the downside. The only thing with dollar CAD is that dollar's a little bit strong right now, but I think CAD is just stronger. So it's kind of helping it out. But we'll see what the news has in store for USD this afternoon. If it stays weaker than CAD, then we might see another drop. If not, maybe price does push up one more time to retest it. Yeah, which could actually give some more entries. I think as long as we don't break the zone through 1.36, we're looking good. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar CAD. In terms of USD JPY, where is USD? There we are. So yeah, USD JPY, nice reaction there yesterday. Bit of a wick to the downside, close as forget the name of that doji. Is it Dragonfly doji? It's not Gravestone doji. I forget the names. But it's a nice wick to the downside, pull back up, and essentially holding that 141 area. Of course, we can see how strong that 141 area was. Gave us that massive swing there. And as we do reject the low end of the channel, possibly it might be time for dollar yen to push up a little bit higher, back into that area for a third lower high. So dollar yen, yes, I do think there's room to the upside for us to move into. We are quite corrective in this area here as well. So, I'm not expecting price to suddenly melt to the downside unless we have some major news event. I do feel like we'll probably push high at some point. It's just tricky in terms of finding an entry because, if you're going to enter up here, maybe not the best place to enter. You kind of want to be a little bit further down. If we do break through, great. Then some areas up there you can look to short from. So with dollar yen, I would expect to see that move higher. I'm still long-term bearish on dollar yen. So if we do push up, even if we were to break through this, I do think we'll form a lower high and come back down at some point. But yeah, I do feel like we can see some upside. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Will? Welcome to the stream. No problem. Better late than never. Hope you're doing good. Took a position in pound USD. Nice. 1.30390. I'm looking at euro and pound as well. I'm kind of waiting for the news this afternoon before I do enter because I'm using the 4 hour to enter. But I'm looking at them too, both of them at the top of my watch list. I'm just going to pick between the two. I'm preferring euro a little bit, but I don't know because we got the ECB interest rate at 115. So, and the rates are expected to drop pretty big. So I don't know, euro might dump. But I'll see how everything does close at 2 p.m. UK time and things look good. Hopefully I can find some entries. But I'll go through them in a second. First, let me go through the big liquidity zone between 0.834 and 832, which is I was hoping to tap into. Okay, is that your buy dark shone for euro pound? Let me move this out of the way. 0.834. Okay, 834 is down here. And 832 down there. Let me make sure we can see that. Okay, so you're looking for a big move down there. So are you looking to buy from that area, or are you looking to sell to that area? Because yeah, I mean, I'm expecting price to get to that area, to be honest. Because as I said, from a monthly point of view, you had a really bearish month in August. Well, not really, but it just left a huge wick to the upside. So I do feel like we will eventually roll over to the downside back to 0.83, which is more or less where your zone is. So yeah, I would be expecting price to get there as well, but I'm very much looking to sell towards that area. Maybe there could be some buys down there as well when we get there. We'll have to judge. But yeah, I do expect to see a lot more downside for euro pound. But if I'm looking to buy, it would have to be at least be that low. Okay, you're looking to sell, then buy. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. So yeah, I wouldn't buy anything here, but yeah, as we approach lower, this is a massive level of support in higher time frames. Buys make sense there, but for now, yeah, I would be looking at a sell. But yeah, let me jump over to pound USD. So you said you're in a long, Will, from 1.30 30390. So that's about here-ish. No, here-ish. So yeah, I'm looking for an entry as well. Similar area there too. My entry probably will be a bit higher up than yours, but I would imagine your stop loss is somewhere underneath that wick there. And that's where mine would go to if I do end up trading pound. But euro and pound both tested my levels. So euro here and pound USD there. And Aussie dollar did as well. But I prefer euro and pounds. I'm going to see which one sets up a little bit better. And hopefully I can find some entries for one of them. Like I said, we do have the ECB interest rate in the afternoon. So I don't know. I might go with pound USD as well and join you there. Because I don't know, euro might be moving a little bit all over the place. And if things come out really bad for euro, we might be seeing a strong break of that area, which doesn't make me bearish on it. It just means I'll be looking to buy from these two levels rather than the first one. But yeah, I have the same pretty much analysis as you. I'm looking for a big swing back to the high here at 1.326, and then eventually maybe 1.33. I'll be trading stop, so I won't have a finite target on the trade. Just be seeing how far I can take it. But the one thing I do like about pound is how we've moved. It's still very corrective for me. Maybe not your textbook flag pattern, but for me, it's just very, very corrective. And the bullish moves, the bullish swings are where the momentum lies. So if we're taking our time on the way down, it means that price is likely to form a bottom and continue higher. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here for pound. Euro is doing something similar as well. Maybe not as corrective as pound, but it's looking pretty good too. So for both of them, I'm expecting moves higher. Euro might have a bit better risk to reward, but yeah, similar moves. Yeah, speaking on USD pairs, we have seen a bit of upside, a bit of rejection. Aussie dollar, a bit of a push there yesterday. Gold was a little bit bullish there too. Silver likewise. Dollar CHF, that one not so much. That one's pushing up. But I think CHF is very, very weak. And the USD not so much either. But this one broke back below that high. So yeah, didn't really give me an opportunity to trade it there, unfortunately. But yeah, euro and pound look good. So hopefully I can find some longs for either one. Yen is trying to push up. How is the Japanese index looking? Okay, we pushed back up. I was looking for us to keep selling off, but we didn't. Pushing back into that zone. Maybe that's where we do sell off from. So yeah, we are at an interesting level right now. If this is the push up, it will drag the yen pairs with it. If we do sell off from here, then you could see another move to the downside for the yen pairs as well. How is the JPY basket? Okay, we did reject the high there, didn't we? So yeah, with that, that could take us back down to 6,800, which might push up the yen pairs a little bit. Again, I still do think the yen pairs have got a lot of room to the downside, but maybe they do bounce a little bit. Maybe they do bounce. Especially CAD yen, which is still holding on to 105. Has been a big level of support. And then yesterday, another big wick there. This was likely to push up. So yeah, I do think we'll probably see some upside for the yen pairs intraday. Is anyone looking to trade the yen pairs? I know quite a few people trading them at the beginning of the week and last week. And I was looking to trade Euro yen and Aussie yen and some shorts, but they've just been a bit too bullish for me. So I haven't found any opportunities just yet. But should we see some upside and get a pullback to this area, I'm still very much interested in a short. And in fact, since Aussie yen didn't really hold this area, I mean, it did react. It did give a nice opportunity there. Push down, it just respected the low and push back up again. So there was a nice short there, but just short-lived. Now that we've broken back above that area, that kind of tells me that maybe Aussie yen is getting ready for a bit of a push higher up. And maybe to my level, and then I can start to look to get some shorts going. Something like that. And then I will be looking to expect price to come back into the zone there. So yeah, longer term, I do think the yen pairs have that move to the downside, but I do think at the moment they'll probably push up. Ben looking to long pullback on UJ. Okay. So yeah, I like that. I like the opportunity a lot. Had some nice confidence. It's just the entry. Of course, hindsight would be ideal to enter a little bit lower, but maybe a break of that could be a nice little entry there as well. But yeah, I do think dollar yen is likely to pull back anyway. Get that third lower high, and then maybe a sell-off, or if you do pull back a little bit deeper, that could end up running, possibly even back to the high there. Wouldn't be too surprised if that was to happen, something like that, and then maybe another big sell-off. That could end up being a really huge head and shoulder pattern with your left shoulder there, your head over there, and now your right shoulder, which could be a phenomenal pattern, because that could really start a move to the downside like that for the yen pairs, which will give us some really nice shorts. But yeah, that's me speaking a little bit too far into the future there, but you guys get the point. In terms of the buy for now, it does look good. I feel like it's probably the best yen pair. Maybe this and CAD yen. If I was looking to buy yen pair, probably be either one of these. But yeah, news will have it say. But I think the main interest really is to see what happens with euro, because the interest rate drop from 4.25 to 3.65 is a really big drop. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, last week the consensus was 4%. So it's gone from a 4.25 to consensus of 4%. Now the consensus is 3.65. So it's gone a pretty big drop lower. And if the actual interest rate comes out even lower than 3.65, then yeah, euro could tank pretty hard actually. So that might save me from an unnecessary loss on euro. If it comes a little bit higher, then we might see a mixed euro. It might be a little bit weak because interest rates still drop, but then it's higher than expected, so it won't drop that much. So it might kind of just be wicking back and forth. Maybe overall be a bit bearish, but yeah, the level I'm looking at might still hold. But what would be nice if we could tag the 50 as well, which I feel like we'll probably do anyway. Tag the 50, nice rejection, and then find some entries after. But yeah, I do think these euro pairs will dump. Euro Aussie. That might mean I might miss my USD trade. Yes, CHF is definitely very weak right now. Pound CHF was on the watch list, but I'm definitely not looking to trade it anymore. Yeah. Again, the plan was to look for the breaking retest of the range, but because the breakout was just so corrective, let me just clean up the chart. It was so corrective, so I just stay away. And yeah, now it's breaking back inside the range. So that opportunity I was looking at is completely just in the dust right now. Because I've always spoken about breakouts to be about being impulsive, about having your strong candles. Those for me are the best type of breakouts. When I see price consolidate, I see a big candle breaking out, or 2 or 3 big candles breaking out for a lot of momentum. Those are the best breakouts. And if they do pull back, they normally give really good retests as well. When it's corrective like this, doesn't normally work out too well. Of course, it's all probability, and sometimes they do work out. And it's the times that they do work out, you feel like you should trade them. But on average, they don't really do perform too well. And yeah, we are breaking back in right now. So with gold, if I do see something similar as well, if you kind of just sluggishly push out like this, I won't really be looking to trade gold on the break and retest. But if you break out like we did previously over here, really nice candlestick closing above, a lot of momentum, those provide some really nice retest when they do happen. So I'm hoping gold can do something of that nature, and then I could be looking for some retest there too. But it always comes back to quality over quantity. And I feel like every trader, has that potential. Certainly once you gain, enough experience, you've been trading for a year or two, you have that experience that you can spot a good quality trade and take that trade. But it's what you do in between the good trade and the next good trade that hinders a lot of traders, which is you take one good trade here, a few weeks go by, you take another good trade, but in those few weeks, you took 10 average trades, which is what affects your performance. So if you can kind of cut out the 10 average trades and just focus on the next good trade, then you'll be trading less, but your results will be a lot better. And as traders, that's all we want to do, really. You want to get the best results we can. If it means trade less, I think that's a win-win situation. Less trades, less risk, less stress, less work, and better results. 2 birds in 1 stone. What's up, Lauder? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Welcome. Are you still looking at pound CHF, Lauder? I've just been bashing pound CHF price action before you came. So yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the price action anymore. Breaking back inside the range for starters, not really what I want to be seeing. I know you spoke about looking to trade pound CHF yesterday, and so did I. But after this kind of corrective breakout we saw, and now price is breaking back inside, it just doesn't look good anymore. I'm kind of seeing that across the board with all these CHF pairs. Corrective channel, big break up. Corrective channel, big break up. Corrective channel, big break up. And Euro CHF, similar situation as well. So yeah, it's a bit awkward, I must admit. Okay, not anymore, yeah. I do not blame you. I feel like if we do push back to the high, there could be a nice trade there, because it has proven to be pretty good resistance in the past. 1, 2, 3, 4. that could end up being a nice little trade there. But then again, I wouldn't expect it to go further than this zone here. If it does, great. You can always trail stops or leave positions to continue, but because we've just been struggling in this zone, something like that looks good. And then we might even do that later on. But I feel like if you are still looking to short pound CHF, this is probably the next best area, 1.12. Other than that, I would avoid looking to short this one. I would avoid it. Has not been moving clean. In fact, New Zealand CHF came into a big low and respecting it pretty well. I think Aussie CHF did it as well. Yeah, came into a massive support, respecting it pretty well, which kind of makes sense why we're seeing a lot of upside for those currency pairs. Aussie CHF, massive support reaction, New Zealand CHF as well. I think especially for New Zealand CHF, these are the all-time lows. I think this here's the all-time low. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, looking to buy down there. It's not a bad bet. Not a bad bet. Could see a push back to the high. Probably some opportunities in the retest, actually. Something like that. Bought EJ 155. Okay, still holding. Yeah, we did see some upside for the M pairs this morning. So should be in some profit, but we'll go take a look. Follow the trend. What is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Welcome. Hope you're doing good. Can you please cover USDR sells? Yes, we shall. Let me go through Euro Yen first. So you're long on Euro Yen. I'm still very much looking to sell, but I want price to go up a lot higher anyway. So in fact, I want the market to push. But for Euro Yen, we have come back into a nice high, nice low, sorry, which is this major support level, which I marked out on the daily chart. Probably see it better on the weekly. As prices come back into that low, there's a good chance we could react and see some upside. We left some wicks to the downside. It looks like price overall is kind of running out momentum. So I think there's a good chance that Euro Yen does take a push to the upside. Had a look at the Japanese, the JPY basket as well. It looks like it has hit a big level, which could see some downside. Looks like dollar yen can see some upside as well. So I do think the yen pairs are slowly turning bullish. I'm still very much bearish longer term, but in the short term, we could see some strength there for Euro Yen. Do you have a certain target order where you're expecting Euro Yen to get to for your long position? I'm very still focused on a short from up here. And that is very much still the opportunity I'm looking at, but yeah, I think we can see a move like that. I think we can. If the price really does respect this low, I feel like a move to that is not the craziest thing in the world. Looking for the next lower high and then another drop. So yeah, I do like Euro Yen to the upside. No problem. Follow the trend. Okay, 159.500, 159.500. Okay, that's around here. So not far off where I'm looking to sell from. So, hopefully for your sake and for mine, price can make that move, hit your take profit, then probably give me a nice entry. In fact, I'm pretty sure you said you were looking for Euro Yen sells in a similar area to me as well. So maybe you're looking for some buys and to sell it off later when we do see a push higher up. I'm just looking for the sells, but hopefully we can see a push up higher too. And I do think, judging from the price action, it looks pretty likely too. So yeah, I do like the buys there. In terms of USD ZAR, USD ZAR has been a bit awkward because we were mentioning some sells probably a couple of weeks ago now, that this looks like a nice place for a short. We came about 3/4 of the way before price did sell off, but still respecting support down here really well. I do like this level of support there. I feel like price may have just wicked into it. Yeah, maybe just about there. So yeah, with USDR shorts, I feel like this is still a nice place for a short, as we approach the low there. But this is still a nice place for price to potentially reverse. So it's the question for me is, has price respected this area now, and is it going to now reverse, or are we still going to put another lower high in first, sell off, and then reverse? And again, the only way to answer that question is to look back in hindsight. But what I would say though, this is still a great place for a short. We've got some highs up here, which price is probably going to take out, which then could of course allow us to get that sell off as we approach that area. So to me, this is still a nice place for a short, but I would be a little bit more conservative with my take profit in terms of I won't be targeting this area outright, because now that we've already respected it, we might be looking to reverse. So you might see a nice reaction, but then price forms a higher low and then pushes back against you. So if you can lock in some gains at some point, maybe as we approach this area here, that will be a smart move to make. And if you do sell off back to the low, then this is of course a nice place for a long as well. So yeah, with USDR, I like the shorts around this area here. But because we have respected that weekly level of support, I kind of am expecting long term this move to happen. Is it going to happen now? Could do. Will price come back and respect it again before we make that move? Could do as well. That's a possibility. But for now, the shorts make sense as long as we can respect that area. And if you do come back down again, great. Those would be some nice sells and could lead up to some really nice buys there too. Something like that. So yeah, USDR sales look good. Not as good as they did when we spoke about it before though, just because we've tagged that area. So it'd be a bit more conservative of the take profits. Last time I said, I would target that level outright. Now, not so much. But the shorts still look good. Haven't tested that area yet though. And then yeah, there is that room to the upside as well. I think oil's come back into support too. How is USD peso looking? I haven't actually looked at peso in a while. Okay, bit of a move up higher. Wow, big move. That looks like it's about turnaround as well. Yeah, USD ZAR and USD peso were exotic currencies which I used to trade. But because, spread, not so much spread, but swaps are crazy on those currency pairs, especially if you are buying them. So if you're buying USD ZAR or buying USD peso, swaps are crazy. If you're selling them, swaps are really good because they're big, but they're positive swaps. So if you do sell USD ZAR or you sell USD peso, and if you hold it overnight, the swaps are positive, so you make money through swaps as well. So it can actually be a nice short to hold USD ZAR and USD peso. And also, when they do move down, they're a little bit more aggressive than when they move up. It's kind of a similar vibe to like indices, which they take time to push up, but when they do sell off, they sell off pretty hard. Same with USD ZAR and USD peso, they do sell off pretty hard as well. And then if you hold overnight, the swaps are positive. So selling them is not such a bad prospect. Spread's not great either, but if you're swinging them, you're not too worried about spreads either. If it's an extra kind of few pips on top, it's not great, it's not ideal, but the swaps make up for it 5 times over. But if you're buying them, I feel like there's no point buying them if you're swing, because swaps are too heavy and it's going to take its time to move as well. So not only is it going to be extra long to get to your take profit, you're going to be paying a lot of money. And yeah, if it just comes back to break even, you'll probably just take a loss anyway. So that's why I stopped trading them. But selling them is still a decent prospect, I think. I think I could be in a situation where if I do trade USD ZAR and USD peso again, I might just look at it purely from a short side of things. So if I do see a good buy, I wouldn't take it. But if it's a good sell, I might take it purely because there is some sense to it. But buys is always a hassle. Found that out the hard way. USD started to go up because when I withdraw my profits, the money becomes good. Oh, since you're in South Africa, makes sense though. Makes sense. But if it does go down though, that means ZAR is gonna be stronger. Because of course, if USD ZAR is going up, that means the South African rand is losing strength against the dollar. So you're gonna need more South African rand to get the same amount of dollar. If it does go down, then South African rand will get stronger. I don't know. Just confused myself there. But yeah, I think I was on the right track. Yeah, spreads are crazy on the Zotics. They are quite wide. Especially if you're day trading, there's no point. If you're day trading or scalping, there's no point. Lauder, hope your prop firm, you shall operate in dollars and not pounds because the exchange rates for some of us are insane. Yeah, the prop firm is going to be in USD. Do not worry about that, Lauder. But yeah, exchange rates can be definitely a problem. But the plan is to try and offer. This will be later on, but the plan is at some point in the future that we can look to offer accounts in different currencies, similar to what FTMO do, because they offer accounts in pound, they offer accounts in USD, and they offer accounts in euro as well. So hopefully we can look to establish that at some point, and wider currencies as well, other currencies too, ZAR to Hong Kong dollar. But I think USD, because it's just the main currency of the world, it's just a lot easier to operate with. If to buy anything, you have to pay heavy. Yeah, I mean that's the world of currencies for you. But again, if you look at USDZAR long term, it is just a consistent uptrend there. The market is always pushing up, really. So I would be expecting this to happen pretty soonish, really. Maybe we do have a deeper pullback, but yeah, it's probably going to push up at some point. Same with peso. It's the same with a lot of the exotics anyway. How is Euro USD doing? Not doing much. Pounds trying to push up as well. I think everything's waiting for the New York session anyway to get the ball rolling. I think London's kind of been said and done with. New York is ready to get the ball rolling. So yeah, if I do get a trade today, it will be on Euro or Pound. I will be live again later today, by the way, with Trader Nick. So actually, that'll be an interesting stream because I'll be looking to long Euro and Pound on the next 4-hour candle closure, which will be at 2 p.m. UK time, which will be during his stream. So if there is a trade there, I'm probably going to have to take the trade on his stream. And now I'm going to have to maybe ask if I can take if he can speak on my behalf, because I might be busy calculating my lot size and taking the trade. But yeah, we'll chat about it on that stream as well. So if you guys are free later today, do tune into that stream. I'll drop the link to his stream in my Telegram. But I will be going live with Trading Nick, and we'll discuss the news, of course, with the euro and of course with USD as well. Let's not forget there is some USD news as well, PPI. So yeah, it will be very interesting for euro because there's euro USD, because there's euro and USD news. But yeah, I'll see how the 4-hour candle does close. roughly what percentage of your trades in the New York session? I went through my stats yesterday, particularly every trade I take is in New York. Okay, interesting. For me, I mean, I probably need to check my my journal to see the exact percentage, but last time I checked, it's probably about 60%, I would say, of my trades in New York. It's pretty evenly split, to be honest. Yeah, it's pretty evenly split, 60. But I don't know. Now that I'm going to the 4 hour, that might change. Maybe that might change a little bit. But on the hourly time frame, it's about 60% New York. But again, then again, you trade a lot of indices, gold. I feel like gold indices, they move the best in New York. Okay, only enter during lunch when you got a limit order set from the night before. Okay, fair enough. I mean, other people have sessions which they prefer entering. For me, I don't really mind. I mean, even from my back testing data, it was pretty much, a little bit more in New York, but close to 50-50. And in terms of my live data, it's more or less the same as well. Um, yeah, I mean, for me, I do enter a little bit more during New York, but I find some nice trades in London as well. I guess it's down to the trade, down to the style as well. Um, so yeah, for me, it's kind of not far off. But then, like I said, you trade a bit more indices in gold, which I feel like do move a lot better in New York anyway. So entries are probably better off to wait till New York to find the entry. Nasdaq, Daniel. With Nas, we had a lovely move to the upside yesterday. So the next move for me probably will be a retracement of that move. So I like the idea of some shorts. However, I do think the longer term move might still be to the upside. I'm looking at the daily chart here for Nas. We've got massive resistance here, and now price is pushing back into that low. A really successful rejection of that area. So possibly is price putting in its next higher low to continue back to the high? Maybe. But what I can say is that that's a very strong reaction. So if we do sell off, I'm not expecting anything crazy. And I do think we can probably put a higher low in. I have marked out this area here. It's probably a smart place for a take profit if you do catch some shorts. And maybe if you're looking to long, this might be a nice place for it. As we push back to this area, brief pause in the market, strong push up. Might see the market tag the area before we become bullish here. So looking for some sells, for some buys there for Nas would be the plan. It looks like the indices trying to start a move back to the upside again. How's the UK 100 doing? Still rejecting that high pretty well. GR30. Okay, that one's broken past that there. But we would have the retest yesterday or Monday. So yeah, for indices, I think we could probably see some upside, I'm not gonna lie, longer term. But yeah, now's not the time to buy anyway. If you're looking to buy, the ship has definitely sailed. You need to see price correct. Okay, looks like USD is trying to push lower. Again, I'm not going to read too much into the candlesticks right now because I'm kind of waiting for the 4 hour candle to close, which will be at 2 p.m. And of course, we got some news before that as well. So things might be looking bearish now, but they can definitely take a big turn. Euro USD probably is pushing up a little bit. Yeah. Pound USD pushing up a little bit there as well. So yeah, I'll see how these close in the next 4 hour candle. If things look good, if I see momentum, again, that's the key thing I'm looking out for, momentum. If I see that, strong candle close, doesn't have to be necessarily at that height, but you need to see some conviction. We've already got a nice wick rejection, so now I need to see momentum come into the market. If that's the case, stop below the low, target the high, and if I'm lucky, maybe up there. Euro USD, same type of thing as well. Entry, stop loss below the low, and then, you know, targets back up high. But I'll be trading the stop behind it. So euro and pound look good. Those are the ones I'm going to focus on. Yeah, gold still waiting for the breakout there, but we'll see how that gets on. Silver likewise as well. Yen pairs, any bigger pullbacks with them, which I'm probably kind of looking at for next week now. And then, yeah, USD looks like a good short to me as well. Not quite there. I don't know. We'll see what happens because this one's is another euro pair. And if euro does take a tumble, maybe I do miss out on that move. But yeah, I am looking to take some shorts there for USD too, but nothing for us just yet. Anyway, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. As I said just a few minutes ago, I will be live with Trading Nick later today. So if you do want to see more of me, ask any more questions, or see how the opportunity gets on with Euro USD, make sure you tag along. I'll leave the link to that stream in the Telegram, and link to my Telegram is in the description below. It does go live around 1:45 p.m. is when I'll join. So yeah, keep tabs on that if you are interested in it. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys coming on, everyone. I really do appreciate you chatting with me. It does really help out. If you guys have enjoyed the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But guys, have a fantastic day and happy trading.